Hey guys, what's up? It's Schla, coming back to ya with another episode of Car Rides with Schla, and I'm seriously getting concerned now. I mean, yesterday doing the whole sleeping in thing, it was just a one-off day. It was not a trend or a pattern. And now, it is. And it's just I don't know. I don't know what to even think anymore, man. I just don't like what happened, and I'm still in disbelief. And this is something I have difficulty with. It's been 4 days. It's already Thursday. And this week doesn't even feel like it happened. It feels like I'm still upset. And I still have not been able to process what on earth is going on. Okay? That's literally what's happening right now. And I've just been a wreck, this whole week. And it's pretty sad. I don't know how else to really describe it. Just been a very sad situation. So, I don't know. I don't really feel like doing the show anymore. It still has not gotten anywhere, and my overall attitude has just been so poor. Something to take note of, though. Definitely something to take note of is that I have had a headache, and it's still not gone. I'm not sure what the deal is with that. It's always really frustrating to have to deal with those, but I've been really good about hydrating. That usually solves the problem. I think I get them because I didn't get my wisdom teeth taken out. And now I notice that when I have any acidic food, it irritates my gums and my mouth. So I'm assuming there's a couple of things at play here, because I've been on Carnivore. My body is not used to consuming foods like that. And it happened 2 times. It happened with this lime cayenne pepper kind of juice thing. It was in a glass. Somebody wanted me to try it. I tried it. And then here we are. It caused problems. It caused huge problems. Huge irritation. And I think it's, the lime and the pepper was really a kill shot. Truly. And so the other thing is, recently I had tried a few times adding in some marinara sauce to my bowl that I usually eat of beef, butter, and cheese, and it was really irritating to me. Now I'm a little more confused about the marinara. Honestly, I just am. I'm just kind of taken aback by that, because it seems kind of weird to me. I'm not really sure why I would be reacting that way, because there were times I ate tons of marinara. I mean, back in the day before I was carnivore, semi-carnivore, of course. I'm not I'm not fully. I ate so much sauce. I literally ate like so much sauce. Like people thought I was crazy, you know, and I don't know why it's affecting me like that. And I've still had pizza throughout the carnivore thing, and that doesn't bother me. So I'm assuming in that case the cheese really works overtime to actually counteract the sauce's intensity, because it just doesn't add up to me why on pizza I'm completely unbothered, and then when it comes to just having it in my beef bowl, it's like horrendous. I don't know. So that's kind of weird. It's very weird. I don't have an explanation for it other than the cheese thing. I think the cheese neutralizes it or something. Because GPT said butter would neutralize it, but I already have a lot of butter in my thing, so that doesn't really make sense. I mean, I guess it's possible they dump really excessive amounts of oil on pizza, but I really have a hard time believing that they put more seed oils on the pizza than I do butter in my meals. But hey, I guess it's possible. Maybe pizza really is that slimy and greasy with seed oils. Who knows? And so, yeah. It is what it is. And, I'm not sure what else there is to really mention about that. Like I said, I'm at my wit's end in life, and I guess it makes me wonder and question things, because obviously I guess it makes you sit back and contemplate. Like, I'm at my wit's end, but I think I've felt worse before. Even though right now it's a very different kind of feeling of loss, but again, if I'm being completely honest, I never thought I would be where I am today. Like, I truly didn't. To kind of elaborate more, and I feel like I've elaborated on this before, but I genuinely just thought I wasn't capable of working. I don't know why that thought got into my head, but it did for some reason, somehow, at some point. I thought I was just not capable of doing it, and I was never going to be able to hold a job. I don't really get it. I mean, maybe a part of it was like a privileged mindset about it, that I didn't want to work, but pretty soon that was really, like, it was all in my head. I don't think it was even so much of the avoiding work as the afraid that I couldn't. And that was really due to school and how, like, I couldn't stand school. And I understand why now, because now that I'm older, I get it that school was just not, it was a horrible environment for me to be in, because I really needed like a mentor or something, you know, someone who was really smart. And I didn't have anybody like that in my life. And being the middle child, I was actually, you know, I had less eyes on me. You see what I mean? So it all ended up affecting me pretty substantially, just going through life and all that, especially when I was younger, because I was arrogant as a teenager. I think I was trying to be more humble, but when you're a teenager, I just think you just get arrogant. Like, I don't know if that's super avoidable. Like, I just don't know. Some people don't get that, but I think being like a male teenager is like pretty bad. You know what I mean? Like, I think it's pretty bad when you're dealing with ego and all that as a male teenager. It's rough. It's a horrible time. And if you don't have a figure in your life to really slash that, then it's going to destroy you. And so it's like a constant all over the place emotionally as a teenager, you know. You're trying to build your ego, you're trying to mature, but then at the same time you feel horrible about yourself. You don't really like yourself, you know? I guess I've talked about that on the podcast before, how I've been better at being comfortable in my own skin. And there's not, I don't think as much about, changing myself or wanting to be like other people or being like other people. Because that was always something I struggled and thought about is, I don't like myself, this other person looks better, I'd rather be them. Even people who I see now were in a worse situation than me, I would have preferred it just because of the social aspect of it. Somebody who was more normal, somebody who had more friends, because of how dependent my joy is on social interaction and how my brain is just not super built for that. And so that's kind of where we're at with things. And I don't know. I really think, and I think I was thinking this last night, because I haven't even been doing anything. I've just been doing a lot of thinking. It's really sad to admit that, but I'm not enjoying my time. I'm really having a hard time right now, guys. And so I was thinking, and I realized that if I was just happy being a loner, my life would be amazing right now. I think I would be incredibly happy and fine. I don't even think I would, I wouldn't be doing car rides with Schla. I probably wouldn't do anything. I would probably just be completely happy and one of the happiest people alive. If I didn't have that social component. The fact that I'm so social and I can't get it is the biggest and most impactful thing, that I have to contend with. It's the biggest tension point, I think, in my life. Because, like I said, in some ways, and I've talked about this before when I was going through my mania, I am kind of the perfect example of a modern person. Somebody who is living efficiently, is not wasting money on junk, not wasting money on frivolous things, dealing with things in a very serious way, thinking in that way, understanding things like vacation are a concept of the past, they're over, they're done with, they're not coming back. you have to buckle down. You can't really eat fast food. You can't really eat out at restaurants. That's an inefficient system. Like, I always noticed these things, and the way I live is much more environmentally friendly than most people. I kind of feel annoyed because, again, growing up in the 2000s and then, most of my comprehended growing up was in Obama's America. That was really, I was born during Bush's America, but, when you're like that little, I don't think, you're not as aware of things as much. And so growing up in Obama's America, the what was told to us versus what actually happened was pretty crazy. And then seeing how much things have decayed since then, it's pretty crazy. I don't know. I really don't know. And I feel like I was the person listening to a lot of that stuff and trying to understand it. And then now it's just like obvious that humans are not reaching whatever those expectations were. And things are just worse. We're just on a worse track than we were back then. Things are worse. And this is kind of across the board. Period. I mean, the 2010s compared to the 2020s, like, they look fantastic. It's just insane how quickly things declined and deteriorated. I mean, it's just truly upsetting. And I don't know, I've tried to be excited about it, but I guess I just wonder, like, I don't know if I'm going to be saved in this upcoming wave. Like, I think if things go the way I plan or assume they will go, I would actually be one of the few who would benefit from it, because my brain is just very, like, AI kind of meant for, uniquely so. But I don't know if I'm going to be selected. Like, I don't know that. I could be a part of the people where life just gets way worse for as well. There's not, like, I don't have any guarantees, you know what I mean? So I think that's relevant to point out, obviously. It's relevant. But yeah. And it's either way, it's still like a lot of years of pain prior to that. So it's iffy. It's frustrating, and it was something I was happy about, but then, now I'm kind of back to being cautious, and I don't know what I'm doing, like I want to get into a better spot in life, but I just don't know. I don't know what I'm doing. I can't figure it out. And that's the weird thing is, if anybody should have an answer, it's me. I spend basically, over an hour a day now in these therapy sessions where it's self-therapy, so it's not the same as actually seeing a therapist, but yeah, like, I don't know. I still think I've felt a joy that most people don't feel. I still think I have. I still think I do. I still think It's just hindered by the fact that I'm walking alone and how much I don't like that. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I've learned to deal with it. I don't think I'm as lonely as some people. Like, some people are extremely distraught about loneliness. Like, I wouldn't say that about in description of myself. I just think it's boring. You know, like, it's boring not having anybody to talk to, and it makes life less exciting. That's what it does. But I'm not like, I think I'm at peace with it, you know, at this point. I don't have a lot of thoughts going through my head like I'm lonely, and I used to, but I don't really feel that way anymore. I have a feeling it's because I at least have a job, and yeah. You know, that's kind of what I figure. And that's what I'm saying. I mean, I'm doing better, but it's just in this moment, this week has just been one of the worst weeks ever. I'm just saying it. Like, I don't know what's going on. There's 2 days in a row now where I'm struggling to wake up. That's not right. That's just not right. And I feel like everybody's like, nah, I do that all the time. What do you mean? That's normal. But it's when you compare it to somebody where, you know, that usually never happens for me. I'm never like that. It's not a good sign, you know? But yeah, I mean, I know, like, it's moments like these, though, with all my negativity and whining, it just makes me wonder, because again, in retrospect, I wish I never did any of it. You know what I mean? Like, I always, that's always what I think in like, looking back on my life, it never helped me, and things always just worked out for me. Like, I don't know. Maybe not socially. Maybe things didn't always work out socially, but just in general, it's stupid that I was the way. Like, I really could have enjoyed myself. Because I see how other people operate, and other people, they don't care. Other people are deeply selfish. They don't care about trying to do the right thing, or even remotely as thoughtful as I am. And so I guess it's just tricky in contrast to that. People don't get it. People don't get what I'm getting at or what the point is, you know? I'm assuming it has something to do with that. But yeah, I mean, we're still doing it, even though I'm in a much more frustrated spot with my hours being cut and now needing to deal with traffic. It's a very frustrating spot that I'm in. But again, I still should count my lucky stars because I actually forgot to even mention it, but that's what I was talking about in the beginning. I never thought I would get here. And I don't know if that was me being stupid or what it is, but maybe it's kind of the sympathetic or empathetic side of me or something, but I never thought I'd get here. I just thought I was going to be completely lost, you know? And so it's interesting that I made it this far, because I truly, truly never thought I would. And especially recently. I'm trying to think of when this was. Maybe when I was 20. It kind of hit me. I remember we were on a long car ride and I was just miserable. I think I would have been 20 years old. But I don't really remember the age. And yeah, I don't know. Like anyone, I've wasted a lot of money on games throughout my life. And that's the crazy part, because if I grew up in a different time, like, oh my gosh, if you spent money on games, you were actually like making money. Like, so many of those old games are like, they went up in value, like the old good games. My generation, it's like you get addicted to microtransactions and it's like a bunch of completely worthless things. And I was part of the transition phase of that, so it wasn't as bad, but I've still been subject to it. Like, I'm sure I'd just be like $1,000 richer right now easily. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not fair. It's not right. The amount of money that we lose to these things. And like, can you imagine if throughout my life I had spent $1,000? And that's probably being a little bit generous. Because, like, I don't even know. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably more than, like, throughout my whole life, I want to say it's probably closer to 2,000. Again, like, I don't really want to think about it, but yeah, it's probably... And I've been resistant to it, but at the same time, I've succumbed to it. And you just think about that, like, what if I had, like, a whole library of games that I could sell for that amount or higher? You know? That would have been so much better, but instead, we get addicted to these games that require microtransactions, and then we can't like really help ourselves because it gets hard to resist, because like then, you know, now your dopamine baseline is so much higher and all this stuff. And here's the thing too, I don't even think that I'm a part of, like, I might be below average, if we're being completely honest, as, like, a percentage of my wealth expenditure. But I just go through those phases where, you know, I don't spend anything, but then I just dump money into stuff. And so that's really the problem. But, yeah, I feel like 2,000, that's easily the case that I've spent throughout my life on a lot of that junk. But that's my whole life, But still, it's just... Because I don't know, you get in a hopeless state and then you turn to the games as a way to feel good, but now the feel good baseline is like... When I was a kid, it was just... I was so much happier and it was so much less money. That's the thing that doesn't add up. I mean, a DS was $130. A DS game was $35. Those DS games went up in value like 4 or 5 times. I mean, it's just insane how good of a time that was to be alive, and like how horrible things are now. I don't know what's going on, it's not fair at all. It's just not fair at all. Like, I don't know. Just thinking about it like that, realizing that and letting that sink in. Like, wow. But I'm meant for the future. It's just that it's kind of annoying not being rich in the future, I guess. Like, that's really what it is. Like, the future is better, but it's better for a smaller percentage of people. Like, in the past, if you were rich, like, it mattered a little bit, but it didn't matter a ton, because what you were competing with was not as crazy. Like, now you're really dominated by like really expensive computers and really expensive phones and stuff like that. That's really what you're dealing with these things. And in my day, it's like, yeah, I mean, that stuff always existed, but it wasn't really that mainstream, or it didn't really matter that much. Like, if in the early 2000s you had like a decked out gaming PC, that wasn't even that relevant. Like, it really, I just don't remember that being the case at all. I mean, maybe because I was a child then, but still, it was a very niche thing, whereas now it's gotten so mainstream. It's like a necessary thing. It's something you notice. And so we have these like fast PCs, expensive phones, all these really expensive technology pieces to keep up with. And it genuinely was not like that in my time. Like I said, a DS Lite for $130, that was kind of just the standard. I mean, some people may have had a PSP. It sold about half as many units. But maybe in America it probably wasn't that drastic. But even then, I'm sure a PSP was not that expensive. And I'm sure games for the PSP weren't that expensive either. Now, granted, because of currency erosion, maybe, these numbers and metrics are not quite as good as we think they are. Because... yeah, it's like, yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, we don't know that. But yeah, it's always a game with this light. Oh my gosh. We don't know. Like, I'm sure the prices were probably fairly equivalent in terms of actual buying power, but I think when it comes down to value, how a lot of those games are, again, worth more than they were, that doesn't happen anymore. I don't, nobody... So that's like the main thing is how it was basically an investment before, and now It's just not. I can't imagine. Well, because when you buy a game, it's not even, actually a copy of the game and all that nonsense. So, yeah, but that's the whole point is a broad scale. I mean, yeah, like you were rich based on how many games you could get. That's kind of what made you rich. Or if you had like a Wii and an Xbox, or like a Wii or an Xbox and a PlayStation, like that was kind of being rich. But notice, it just didn't really matter that much. Like it wasn't like, your phone was better than the other person's phone by like an obvious margin, and you have to spend $1,000 every year to have the latest phone. I mean, consoles didn't even come out that frequently, so you didn't really have to upgrade. And so being poor in the past was so much better. Nowadays, being poor is terrible. I mean, you not only is it harder for poorer Americans, but you don't, like, the gap is so wide. Like, you don't have that same chill kind of thing going on. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's not chill anymore. And so, yeah, I just don't know. Don't know how else to really explain that, but I know I'm correct. Like, this makes what I'm saying right now, I'm actually pretty impressed with, because it is just truly a very accurate consensus. I haven't really thought about it too much, but yeah, I mean, that's like the root of the issue. Is it's amazing to live now if you're rich. Like, for the top 10 or even 20%, life now is better than it ever has been. You know what I mean? So I think that is like an important thing to point out, but it's actually worse for more people, because there's that whole crazy competitive kind of thing going on. And it's difficult. It's difficult to compete like that, It's not easy at all. So, like, forgetting to turn my car off. But yeah, that's actually a super interesting thing I did not think about before now. Like, it did not really matter that much in the past if you were poor or if you were just a middle class. You didn't, because, like, think about most of the luxuries that we deal with now. It's just like horrible. I mean, there was always like class disparity, but again, if the entry point for things was like a Wii was $200, and especially as a kid, like for kid stuff, now I guess you could argue being a kid now is just like $100 phone and scrolling TikTok. And that, if anything, you could argue that the entry point is lowered in a way. Yeah, that kind of flies in the face of my whole argument. But because like for most people, I think just a phone being able to use TikTok, which is a very low bar, is like you're already kind of maximizing things. So maybe, yeah, bam. Counterargument. It's actually, bam. It's it's actually better to be poor now. No. All right, guys. It's been Schla, but now it's time to buy Schla. So, see you, Schla.